The Lord's Alliance has dispatched agents to investigate a spate of tomb robbery in the Noble District. Hiding within the catacombs, the agents are shocked to discover that were-rats have been plundering the graves. However, were-rats are not the only threat to the Noble's treasures. Oakshade runs into the tomb, spotting a shattered sarcophagus. Opening the lid, he discovers a golden band which invigorates the wearer. Miliamni gives a touch of spring to move Two Tails, then rushes forward. Damek follows Oakshade lead, moving towards another sarcophagus and pulling out gleaming pauldrons from an old armor suit. Having been propelled upwards onto the ledge, Two Tails bounds forward towards a casket. He pulls free a dusty bottle of liquid labeled antidote. Chittering can be heard from the darkness as were-rats strike at Two Tails and Oakshade. Miliamni opens a long casket, revealing the Emerald Enclave's prize, the sword Flame Tongue. Grasping it, he moves forward and sends forth the teeth of the swarm to poison Oakshade. Reeling for poisoned stings, Oakshade lashed out with his rapier and crossbow at the were-rat. Moving forward to assist his comrade in arms, Damok's healing hands soothe Oakshade. Damok then turns his hands of harm and slays the were-rat. Two Tails swipes with his claws and tail at the vermin nearest him. The were-rat swipes back with his dagger. Oakshade heads towards Miliamni, firing his crossbow as he crosses the cobweb-strewn floor. Two Tails surges into his beast form, striking and killing the were-rat, and bounds towards the Lord's Alliance foes. Miliamni again sends stinging bites toward Oakshade. Seeing the effects of the poison surging through Oakshade, Miliamni feels a surge of power invigorating his body. Damek moves towards Oakshade and they exchange treasures. Miliamni turns her poison swarm on Damek. Still suffering from poison, Oakshade again fires his crossbow at Miliamni. Seeing a quarrel land, Oakshade gains renewed confidence in his steady aim. Also suffering from the effects of the stings, Damek lays healing hands on Oakshade as he passes towards Miliamni and touching his target with Hands of Harm. Two Tails loses his beast form, but pounces in between his two enemies, swiping and slowing Damek. More chittering erupts from the sides of the chamber, and Oakshade is assaulted by another were-rat. Damek uses his karma to strike both Miliamni and Two Tails. Oakshade swings his rapier at Two Tails whilst snapshotting his crossbow. Two Tails quaffs his antidote and strikes out at Oakshade, but misses. Miliamni slashes Damek with Flame Tongue, then feels the touch of spring move her away before putting some distance between her and Damek. Where rats continue to move round the tomb and try to waylay the adventurers. Seeing Miliamni fleeing with the precious sword heirloom, Damek dashes forward with the Leaper's Band and swings his karma wildly. Two Tails rakes Oakshade with his claws, leaving him bleeding badly. Oakshade fights back with rapier and a quarrel-piercing Two Tails. Miliamni strikes back at Damek, who is dogging his trail. Flame Tongue slashes across the hero. The were-rats strike at targets of opportunity. Oakshade feels a were-rat's dagger slide deep into his side. Lieutenant Oakshade falls to the ground unconscious as a blinding light fills the tomb. Stunned, the fighting stops. The were-rats flee with chittering squeaks, and all eyes turn towards a figure standing on the crypt. It is Barefoot Madeleine, comrade of Oakshade and Madeleine. As the Emerald Enclave move onto the crypt platform, she places a vial to Oakshade's lips. Coughing, he regains consciousness and stares up at his wife. She looks at him with remorseful eyes and says, "I'm sorry you were dragged into this, but the Enclave needs Flame Tongue, and me." Another flash fills the chamber, and Madeleine is gone. Sergeant Damick helps Oakshade to his feet, and they stumble out of the tomb to report their discoveries to the Lord's Alliance, determined to find out what the Emerald Enclave and Barefoot Madeleine are up to.